He's been picked out. Socks down to his ankle. Picks out Stansfield. That's the hat-trick. And that's what dreams are made of.
Hello everybody and welcome to Park Life, the official Exeter City podcast. It's the international break, so we're bringing you something a bit different today. A showcase of interviews from all different parts of our club, both past and present. Let's get straight into it. Coming up in today's show, I'm joined by legendary City striker Richard Logan to talk about his time at St James Park and his memorable goals in red and white. City women's player Bo Jackson joins me to talk about their wonderful start to the season as they prepare to face Cheltenham Town in the FA Cup. Scott Walker from the Community Trust joins me to share some personal news before academy player Theo Cutler dials in for his first ever interview to share how the under-18s have started the season. First up, I'm joined by one of City's all-time fan favourites. He's a man who played nearly 200 league games for the Grecians, scoring 47 times in the process. Richard Logan, welcome to Park Life. How are you doing?
No problem at all. No, thanks for having me. I'm doing well. A little bit more weight on me now. You obviously can't see me, but not as fit as I used to be. But no, it's great to be part of this, and hopefully I can have a bit of fun with you, and it should be good.
Yeah, no, it will be. I've got to say, you're not looking too bad, to be honest, mate.
Oh, cheers. I appreciate it. I wish my missus said that.
It's been a little while since you last played for the club. 2012 was the last time you put on the red and white of Exeter City before the London Olympics. It feels like quite a long time ago. But how closely have you been following the side ever since?
Yeah, no, I always look out for the results every week. So, I'm one of them. I'd love to still be living down the area, really. So hopefully when my kids do get a bit older, hopefully me and my missus can try and move back down that way because we love living there. So, but I do keep an eye out for all the results, actually. And I probably they're struggling a little bit at the moment. But hopefully Gary Caldwell can turn it around. I think the fans have just got to stick with the team and get behind them. And hopefully they can start picking up some results.
Yeah, I to be honest, I think I kind of caught onto your love for the city and the area as well as just for the club. I mean, mainly, I guess, because of your rapport with the fans, but also the time that you spent at the club. What was it about Exeter City that kept you at the club for so long? You know, nearly 200 league games. That's a really long period.
Yeah, what it was is I started my career at 9 years old when I was at Ipswich Town, and that was like a family club as well. And when I got released by them when I was like 20 years old, I'd never found that sort of family club again. I was like moving around to clubs, and it was just training weren't very good where I went to, or the people just didn't feel like family. So obviously when I got to Exeter, it was just similar to like being at Ipswich again, like just being around fans. It's just like you're all your mates, and you're like a big family, and even like the coaching staff, just everyone. It was all like tight knit. So I think I found my feet there again. That's when I played my best football again in my career, really, at Exeter.
Yeah, well, I think that's clear to see. And there are so many fantastic moments that you've shared with Exeter City fans down the years. But I thought we'd start at the beginning. You signed for City under some pretty exceptional circumstances after Weymouth decided to transfer list its entire first team squad.
Yeah.
Just talk me through that, because that feels pretty crazy to me.
Well, it was mad because we was doing all right in the conference. We was flying, doing well. We played against Bury in the FA Cup, beat them, and I remember scoring on BBC. And we was going away for like 3-4 days to Portugal. And the manager Gary Hill at the time said we had all our suitcases and we was turned up to get with the passports ready to go. And we had our suitcase ready to go away. And basically he said, lads, you're not going away no more. The club can't afford to pay you wages. You've gone bust. Then you could all go and find another club. So I've gone from going on holiday, thinking I'm having a good 3 days away, to thinking, bloody hell, I ain't got a club. So what happened in the end was Steve Tully and Lee Elam went to Exeter because I knew Paul Buckle. And then a few weeks down the line, they rang me and said, "Do you want to come on trial? Just come down here." And obviously I went there and trained and that. And then they kept me to the end of the season, which was amazing, really, because I never really heard about Exeter, really. To get a chance to go there, it was amazing. And yeah, obviously that's how it started.
Unbelievable circumstances that must have put a huge amount of stress on you as well. I mean, being given how much time to find a new club? I mean, that's your livelihood on the line, right?
Yeah, well, a lot of the players just left off that day, obviously just searching around, just looking for clubs. And I think we played Exeter like a week or 2 weeks later as well. And I stayed at Weymouth for a bit and we played against them. And I think they beat us 5-0 at our place because we had no players. We had Jason Tyndall as our manager. He's obviously at Bournemouth now. and he was player manager at the time because obviously the manager left as well. So it's like I was playing centre midfield, thinking I'm not even a centre midfielder. What am I doing? So, but no, it was mad. I think you beat us 5-0. I think Leland got a hat trick actually that day as well.
You've mentioned Jason Tyndall, so naturally I have to ask a little bit about him. A bit of a character, it's got to be said. I think he's built up a bit of a reputation in the Premier League now. He's at Newcastle. What did you think of him?
Yeah, when I was at Weymouth with him, he was always like a little bit eccentric, whatever. But he's a good lad. I thought he was like just a top lad, to be fair, and he was a good player as well at the time. But obviously, apparently, likes widen a lot of the Premiership managers up at the moment, doesn't he? Being Eddie. But I love watching it. That's the sort of thing I like, just seeing all the banter and that. So, but no, he's a great lad, to be fair, and he's done well with his career. And hopefully, I wish him all the best to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah, your kind of guy, clearly.
Yeah, he is. No, he has a bit of fun on that. Obviously, he likes winding people up, so it's all fun and games, isn't it?
Yeah, but your time after you left Weymouth, clearly a stressful time. You managed to get that call from Paul Tisdale, and you were made one of his first signings, I guess. You must have been absolutely delighted and quite relieved, really, to get the opportunity to play for the club.
100%. Even when I went training, like the quality of players were there. Like obviously, Jamie Mackey there, like Billy Jones, Tolls. There's a good squad there. Matty Gill, obviously, is at where's he now? He's at Southampton now, and he's assistant manager. But there's a great team. Just fitting back in with that sort of team, I was buzzing just to be a part of it, really. And obviously, you'll probably ask a question in a little while, but obviously, it was gutted to where it ended on that season when I went there, though.
Yeah, no, well, absolutely, and that first season, yes, I mean defeat in the playoffs. How did you take that? Because obviously the next season you bounced back, won promotion, and then
Yeah, obviously to lose to Morecambe in the playoff final was horrible, and well, obviously that season Tiz did ring me and said they can't keep me, they want to get rid of me because they couldn't afford to wages. I went on great money anyway, but he said they just had to try and obviously cut the wages down, whatever, and so I was like, I got home and I said to my missus, I was on the bed, I was like, what do we do now? Like, I've got no club because they just told me it's leave it. I've got to leave, and basically it was like I was crying on the bed to my missus. I was like, what do I do? I love this club, and then so I messaged Paul, and I said, I don't care, Paul. I said, I don't care what money you give me. I just want to be a part of the next season. And I don't care if it's whatever money. Just I want to be a part of it. And he said, I'll get back to you. Then obviously, he did get back to me a few weeks later or a week later, and then that's managed. Luckily, I did grovel like that because then he kept me on for another season. It worked out. It would never worked out otherwise. So it worked out well in the end.
What a decision it was. You must have been, I mean, to be told after joining, a family club like Exeter, felt at home, I guess, and then being given that sort of, it wasn't even an ultimatum. You were told that you kind of had to leave.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, because obviously when I was at Weymouth, I went to Weymouth, and obviously from Peterborough, so I've just moved to another club, and it's another year later. And then to be told you got to move again, it's just like I just couldn't keep doing it. So, but obviously Paul showed faith in me in the end, and I was happy that in the end he understood, and then he did give me a contract, which hopefully I repaid him in the end. So it was great to get an opportunity to stay there.
Well, yeah, you certainly did. And let's talk about that first full season then. It couldn't have gone much better if you tried, really. Across the 07-08 season, you scored 18 league goals, but none of them were more important than that goal away to Torquay United in the second leg of the Conference League playoff semi-final. A goal that I know that Exeter City fans still look back on, always on the highlights on YouTube, because it's just one of the best moments.
It still gives me tingles, and I always, not gonna lie, now and then I think, I just want to watch it go again. Just watching, it's just like the fans, what it meant. Because obviously when they scored, was it Andy Hills, I think, or scored their goal, and obviously they went 2 goals clear. And I think they thought they won it. I remember Bucks on the touchline celebrating like they're going to Wembley. I thought, no, we can't have this. And obviously we got it back to they thought they were there, obviously, and I was like, I ain't having this. And obviously then I think Rob Edwards went on an amazing run, wasn't it? And then Ryan Harley scored a great goal. Then obviously Wayno set me up with a great cross, and it was unreal, because I think a lot of the supporters would have thought for 3-1 now their way we weren't going to make it, but to stick in there and then to win that game was unbelievable. It's just one of them feelings you never forget.
From a player's perspective, surely, I mean, it's difficult to really feel that belief when you get a sucker punch so late on into the game, but then for you to have that mental steadiness, I guess, to keep your head in the game and to score that goal really late on as well. That takes some, some real skill and some head straight.
100%. I actually got took out for the penalty as well. So that's another one. I showed a bit of pace that day. I went the quickest, but I thought I'd put on the turbos for that one. And then I think Chris Zabrowski took me out. I think their keeper collided. So, but I didn't really want the penalty. Watto stepped up, then the little man stepped up, Watto. And it good finish though, Watto, to be fair. He done well. And then obviously, yeah, Wayno put in a good cross for me, and rest was history. But I was gutted Wayno scored the goal after, really, because I thought it was my goal. I was the one who got us there, but we got an extra goal, didn't we? So I was a bit gutted we scored another one. But now we qualified, got there, and yeah, it's amazing.
And then what happened next? It's a game that'll live long in the memory of all Exeter City fans. The trip to Wembley Stadium again, where Cambridge United awaited the Grecians. That Rob Edwards goal, that iconic celebration, enough to win promotion back into the Football League. What are your memories of that day? An incredible one.
Well, to be fair, Cambridge is sort of like where I'm from Bury St Edmunds. And Cambridge is like 20 minutes from where I live. So that was the first ever club I went on loan to from Ipswich as well. So I was really like a bit nervous because it was like a local club to me as well. But obviously I'm at Exeter now. I want to go and win the game. But I know Paul Carden as well at the time, and he was their centre midfielder. I think he was the captain. He was giving it a bit before the game, saying they're going to beat us and this and that. But I thought we had the quality in that squad. I knew the quality we had, and I knew we was going to win that game. You got people like Dean Moxey, you got Jamie Mackey, Stano, George Friend. The list goes on, doesn't it? It's, I knew we was going to win it, but to be fair, for Rob Edwards to score as well, like the old man, the old guard to score the goal, was just a magical day for the team and the fans. It's just from the season before losing. I knew we couldn't afford to lose this one, so it was a great win.
It was quite an early goal on that day, so still a lot of time to play in the game. But how did you feel when Rob scored that goal? You must have had that instant feeling of belief that you could make it back into the Football League.
100%. Try and get the first goal, I think, gives you confidence in the game to stick at it. But it was a tough game. Obviously, Cambridge had a few chances, but we could have scored a few more in the game. But the main thing was obviously when Rob scored, just to try and stay solid and just get the win, really. And to get promotion, I just wanted to win so bad. It's just like, and the feeling was unreal. And the party afterwards even a bit more crazier.
Talk to me about the party.
Yeah, it got a little bit messy. The beers were going around. Obviously, Matty Gill's like usually up at the forefront. Matty Taylor as well. But yeah, no, it's just like to get promotion as any team. Like it's just amazing feeling. And I thought the squad we had, we deserved it. And then over the season, it's just great to go to get that promotion against Cambridge. And
it wasn't the last time you'd play your part in getting the Grecians promoted as well. Your goal on the last day of the 08-09 season was enough to beat Rotherham at their ground and secure back-to-back promotions. What a time for the club. And again, you must have incredible memories of that day and that season.
Yeah, obviously, I was on the bench again. I told Paul, start me these games. I'll get the job done. Don't need to panic. But Stevie P and, Tiz said to me that day, they said, you're going to come on 60 minutes and you're going to score the winner. So they must have seen it already. But yeah, obviously, it was to come on and score that goal. I was ecstatic. I don't know why it was always me. I just like come on for 20 minutes and get all the glory. But it was always a team effort. But for me personally, it was just a great thing to get the winning goal, to take us straight up automatically without no playoffs this year. That year, we didn't really want to go through the playoffs. It's always tough, isn't it? So to come on and get a little header at the back stick, Logie special, everyone was happy.
Yeah, and it was one of those. Those 2 years, I guess, those 2 seasons, and I suppose you can include the season before, even though it ended in heartbreak. That was a golden period for the club, a golden generation of players, I guess. What do you think made that squad and that whole team so special?
I could give you the right answer, the wrong answer. I think the main reason we had good off the pitch. I think we had a good night out, quite a lot of good nights out as a team. So it bonded us all together. Nah, not really. Nah, seriously, we worked hard on the training pitch. We all got along. There was no bad eggs either. So even if I weren't playing, I don't mind who scores the goals. No one's bitter. As long as we're winning as a team, we're all happy. So I think that's what it was. It was all in it together it was like a family. Like, one's playing, we want the other one to do well. But when I'm playing, they want me to do well. So that's one of them. We all stuck together, and I think that's why we managed to work it so well in that season.
Yeah, and an unbelievable time for the club, of course. I'm going to give you a little conundrum here. If I had to make you choose between your goals against Torquay and Rotherham, I suppose I should probably add Oxford in there as well, which was another amazing game. Another one that I know that City fans look back on. What was your favourite out of the 3?
Well, actually, I went on loan at Torquay as well. I forgot to say that, for 3 months from Ipswich as well. So to go to Torquay, I think that for me that was the main goal, because the way we come back from it was obviously 3-1 down. Everyone think we're out, and just the craziness of that goal and the celebrations, the fans were ecstatic. And I think Torquay was the best goal I enjoyed the most, and that's the one that still gives me goosebumps when I watch it now.
Yeah, well, of course. And I mean, you played with some amazing players. You mentioned some of them: George Friend, Steve Tully,
Yeah,
Wayne Carlisle, Matt Taylor as well. And I'll focus
yeah.
in a little bit on Matt Taylor, a leader of that side, captain material, really. Ended up managing the club as well. Could you see that happening? I mean, did he feel like somebody who would naturally
Yeah,
become a coach?
I think where he obviously, because he used to be a goalkeeper at Bath, didn't he? Then obviously T's got him as a centre half. But when he come into Exeter, he was always one of them leaders, and he's always there for you as well. Like if you need something, he'd always keep you upbeat and stuff. You could always see he was going to go down that sort of route, and actually had a great career. And we going to Charlton, didn't he, as well? And he's always going to be a leader. And obviously I'm gutted now he's got sacked from Rotherham, because there's a good chance for him to go and show what he can do. But obviously he'll get back into management soon, I'm sure of it, and he'll do well.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he will. And one other player that you played with who, maybe the greatest legend of all, the late Adam Stansfield, who I know that you're good friends with, you were good friends with. We saw his legacy continued last year when his son Jay Stansfield was given that number 9 shirt, which he wore on his back. And this week, Jay called up to the England under-21 squad. You must be incredibly proud of him.
100%. Obviously, Stano was the biggest legend for me. If he wasn't there, I probably wouldn't have had longevity at Exeter as I did, because he done all my run. He ran for me mainly as well. But he weren't, like everyone says, he weren't the best technically in that, but all the fans wanted someone to work hard, and that's what he done. He he'd leave everything on the pitch. And obviously seeing Jay now blossom and doing how well he's doing as well. I always keep an eye out for Jay. And he's just doing amazing. And his dad would be proud of him, very proud of him. And obviously, like you said, to get in England under 21s as well, with them calibre of players, he's got something. And I know him, he will get in the Premiership back to Fulham, and he will score loads of goals. And he's that sort of player. He's got that quality.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And I think it's safe to say that he's learnt that resilience, that hard work, that commitment from
100%.
from his dad, because it's just his game, isn't it? Running and putting in the hard yards.
He don't stop, does he? I've watched him. Obviously, I watched him on Sky a few times. I think they played Plymouth last year, and like him and Nombe together were unreal. I was bloody hell. These two are some animals together, and that's the thing. He's got the quality as well, though. But the main thing you said, like he works like his dad did. He gives everything, and then he's got the quality as well to go with it. So he's 100% going to go a long way. And I'd always keep an eye out for him, and hopefully he keeps his feet in his ground, which I know he will. His mum Marie would keep his feet in the ground. I know Jay will do well, and he'll have a great career.
Yeah, absolutely. And the foundation as well, I know, is something that's quite close to your heart and quite close to the hearts of all that played with him. I know Dean Moxey still wears that wristband for the Stansfield Foundation. It's incredible to see how his legacy has lived on.
Yeah, 100%. Anytime they ask me to do anything, I always help them out if they need anything. And to keep his name going, like the foundation's done a great thing and raised lots of money as well. And I've I always got a memory. I've got Stano's tattoo number 9 on my wrist, so I always look at that now and then. It's just a memory of how he gave me the chance to have my career to do well at Exeter. Because if it wasn't, like I say to you, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have lasted probably a season there. So I always dedicate my career there from Stano, what he done for me, and just he's a great lad as well off the pitch. Like me, him, and Steve Tully always have loads of banter together, and he's just a great lad. He's sorely missed.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about what you're getting up to then, since you've retired from the sport. What does a day in the life of a former pro really look like?
Well, I didn't really save a lot of money, so but I work now with my best mate Franco, and he's got an alloy wheel business. So we go around a lot of garages, Mercedes garages, doing all their wheels and stuff. So it's not really work anyway. I'm outside still all the time. We've got the music going. And we're spinning the wheels and we're just having a good time. So I do that now. Alloy wheel refurber, so it's good. I enjoy it.
Yeah, living the life.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's good. It gets a bit cold in the winter though, Christmas time. But I have to take the shorts off and put the trousers back on. But it's all good.
Yeah, and can we expect you on the big bank anytime soon with the fans?
I'm definitely going to come down before the end of the season. Yeah, I think my brother's coming down in a couple of weeks to watch the Shrewsbury game midweek as well. Andy Gillard's sorting me out a couple of tickets for him, so I appreciate that. The club always look after me still, which is great. And I've gone to a few away games and they sort me out a couple of tickets. So no, that's what I mean. Like, it's like a family club. Like I say, they still look out for you and that, and they can help you in any way. They always do. So it's great.
Amazing. Well, Richard, that's pretty much all we got time for, but thank you so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to hear your stories of your time at Exeter.
No, I appreciate it. So I'm a legend, mate.
Next, I'm joined by Bo Jackson to talk about City Women's brilliant start to the season. Bo, welcome to Park Life. Thanks for joining us. If there's been one light shining brighter than any other at Exeter City Football Club right now, it has to be the women's team. 8 league games played. You've won all 8 of them. Not only that, but you've also scored 42 league goals in the process and have also progressed into the next round of the FA Cup. I mean, what a season you're having.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And, it just showcases how well the women's team is doing in general, how much the support we're getting from Exeter City, and as a club, how much unity we have in terms of building something for the future. And this unbeaten run isn't kind of, oh, look what they've done. It's the hard work and dedication that we've all given, and we're kind of having the reaps of the rewards of what we've been doing, which is brilliant. So yeah, hopefully it continues.
Yeah, well, hopefully it does. I mean, was this kind of run of form? I think you're at 11 games. 11-game winning streak at the moment. Was that kind of expected following last season, which went really well, even though you missed out on promotion right at the end because Cardiff just nipped it?
Yeah, all right. Just start bringing in those bad memories. No, it's dedication from what everyone's doing. Yes, we would have liked to still been in good form. I don't think anyone expected as well a form as what we're doing at the moment. And it just showcases that we're building something, for the future. It's not just for a season and that's it. We lose players and off we go. It's about retention. It's about building on what we've already bought from last season and, continuing that development going forwards. It's been a fantastic season, and, we've still got some of the big games to play yet, but it's definitely exactly where we wanted to be if we had put this on paper last year.
Yeah, you mentioned player retention. To be honest, I think if you look at your team sheet from this year and look at one from sort of this time last year, pretty similar in many ways. You've strengthened in some areas, which is obviously amazing, but keeping that core of the team together from last season into this season and strengthening it even more, that must have been the recipe for success so far, right?
Yeah, and consistency is a big thing. Like, to build any squad, it takes a bit of time. It takes a bit of those hours on the training field, just learning how someone wants to receive the ball, how they move, and the directions. And as you said, we've strengthened it with some of the players that we brought in over the summer, and that's just kind of added to kind of a team that we had, and we've just gone all the way and strengthened it and made it something which is hard to break down and given us more variety. You said from last year, we had a brilliant squad last year, and what we've done this year is just made it a bit deeper, so then when something isn't working or if a team thinks they've got us figured out, we just go, don't you worry, we've got more to come on, don't you worry, it's not just this. And it makes it a lot more competitive within our training field. There's competition in every kind of training event that we're doing, so people are going, I want a shirt, I want to retain my shirt. No one's guaranteed a spot at the season, which makes it a really nice competitive atmosphere for us all to strive in and develop our own abilities as well.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the quality of the players. I think that's pretty clear to see, to be honest. But surely there's a little bit more than that. It feels like the friendship, the camaraderie amongst the squad is really what gels it and brings it together.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a footballer from anywhere, but it takes skill and reputation to get people, and that's what brought me to the club, was kind of what Exeter City are doing off the field and what kind of they're trying to build on the field. And it's not just the skills and the tactics, it's how are we as people, how are people getting on, how is their lives getting on, and do you want to be a part of that? We want to bring in the right people, not just the best players, and by having a good environment, it just brings out the best in people. The confidence of the players is higher, meaning that we're seeing better rotations within the squad, better movements off and on the ball, better shots. You mentioned the scoreline that we're seeing. That's not just because we do have the best strikers, but that's also for building the best environment to, really see the best in people, as well as we've got a young squad. I'm taking myself out of that, but we've got a younger squad, which we're nowhere near the capacity of what we can be. And that's quite dangerous looking forward for the future, but really exciting. And that comes from the environment that we bring in and out of training, in on and out of game days, doing stuff out of the field, having a laugh in the WhatsApp group, whatever it may be. It just builds everything, which then the product is that end result, the scoreline, which everyone sees.
Yeah, well, exactly. I think that's, again, I think you've explained it quite well there, to be honest. And you speak about some of the other players, but let's talk a little bit about you. And you've had a great season. You had a great season last year. Maybe you're having an even better season this year. Just the one goal so far, but you've played a crucial role in what the team are doing.
It's 100% better than last year. My goals, isn't it? So we're already doing better.
But you must have been delighted with the way that you personally have started the season. You've really, I mean, the position was your own before, I guess, but it really does feel like you're one of the crucial cogs in the machine.
Well, thank you. You know what? Like, I wouldn't be there without the people around me. Genuinely, the coaches, all the staff, and all the players make me look good. So I'm going to make them say thank you. But it's about building that kind of ethos around it. And yeah, you're right. I've enjoyed it. Last season was kind of my first season into City, so I was trying to find my feet a little bit. I then broke my nose, so I was out for a long period of time. And then coming back in this season, it just felt a bit more relaxed, a bit more less pressure on me going, I've got to kind of prove myself to everyone to show who I am and what I can do. Whereas this season, it can just be like, actually, this, you know what I can and can't do. I'm not going to be on the score sheet very often, but you do know that I can, do those tackles or make the organisation of the team a little bit better. So it was just about building on that. And then, as I said earlier, once people understand how each other work and that unity that we form, you bring the best out of each other. And yeah, I'm loving it. I love playing here. I'm really enjoying the season so far. And hopefully, as the season goes on, I'm just going to be continuing going on this form that we're going on.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And, we've spoken a little bit about the league, and clearly, you've done amazingly in the league. Eight games, 8 wins, absolutely superb. But at the moment, it's all about the FA Cup, isn't it? An 8-0 victory over Helston Athletic, which makes it 11 consecutive wins in all competitions, as I mentioned earlier. Was that one of your best victories this season? I think it's pretty comprehensive.
I mean, on paper, yes. Like, you people look and go, wow, that was a big score. I think for us internally, like, we're not necessarily looking at the goal lines and going, we need to score, double figures. We need to do this. We need to do that. What we're looking at is how well are we playing? If we win 1-0, but we have the best game of our life and we stay compact, we're happy with that. What we're striving for is that competition on the field. We don't want to be in a league where we're winning 5-0, 6-0. It's great fun and it brings up the confidence, but we want to be in the position where we are really battling every game and battling in our decisions. So when we go away and win those things decisively, we're making better decisions, better kind of attacking play and defensive play, which means that we've earned all those rights to play. The score lines are showing that we are doing well consistently. And the moment we start, attacking in the first 10 minutes, we put in a goal, or maybe 20 minutes, and we put in a goal, then that just solidifies what we're doing for the rest of the game. But actually that first 20 minutes of, right, where's this going to be? Who's this going to be? That's where we kind of detail what sort of team we want to be and how we go forwards. And I think that's for us is what the important thing is. And it'll be great to play, the bigger competitions that are coming up. Love it. We've got no pressure on our shoulders. Let's go and upset some teams.
Well, yeah, exactly. And 5-0, 6-0, 8-0. Apparently, that's become a bit of a norm in the league this season. But FA Cup, you're naturally going to play the better teams the further you progress into the competition. And you got Cheltenham Town away from home, and they're hoping to make it into round 3, and so are you. But how much are you looking forward to testing yourself against opposition from the division above? Because that's really where you want to be, right?
Yeah, definitely. And that's no disrespect to any team in this league. Like, we're playing some fantastic teams and we're playing some really good setups that are either building or on the build. And I think we're just a little bit ahead in some areas, which is performing those scorelines we're seeing. But now, as I say, we're ready for that next step. So coming up against the Cheltenham, it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be, actually, look, this is where we deserve to be. This is what we're aiming for and achieving for. And we want to go out and put kind of statements on our scorelines to say, look at us, look who we are, look what we can do. And as I said, it's the perfect opportunity to say, let's see how well we've developed and how far we can go. I'd be scared if I was Cheltenham.
Yeah, well, clearly. I mean, that's fighting talk. Do you feel, look, I mean, we're seeing the results this season. I mentioned some of the score lines. Do you feel like you're a little bit too good for this division? And I know Bournemouth are gonna challenge you this year, and they may even stop you from getting promoted. And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But with the score lines you're getting, it does feel like you're ready to take this next step.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I'd be lying to say I wouldn't be disappointed if we didn't go up this season. The flip side is you see these scorelines in the Premier League still. So have we got teams that are too good for the Premier League? No, it just means that we're playing well for the division that we're in, and we are striving for the next level. That doesn't mean that we're taking away any disrespect from the other teams, because they are working just as hard as us. They are working, you know, on these cold nights that I'm just about to go into. They're giving up their time, effort around their normal day-to-day working. It just means that we are doing that 1% more at this very moment, which means that we're providing those opportunities, and then a little bit of luck, a little bit of magic, mix it together on a football field, and we're getting that consistency, and we're frightening teams with the way we're playing. I think, yeah, like, as anyone that you'd ask in our squad, we all want to go up. The fact we didn't go up next year just means that we can solidify what we're doing right now to build it again for next year. It just means that we're producing something which is sustainable, rather than, you know, jumping leagues, getting a load of stuff going up, and then just, as we've seen in the women's game for a lot of teams, it just crumbles, and then there's no financial support, there's no fan base, there's nothing, and you see them back down at square one again. And Exeter City is not about that. We're about building it to sustain it for the future, and how far that goes and how long that takes us, that's part of the journey. And, you know, to be a part of that, that's really exciting.
Yeah, really special. And, you know, you're on that journey, and you're bringing a load of fans on that journey as well. The amount of people that are now coming along to Exwick Sports Hub. You've got the new stand in place as well, which looks great. And you've played games at St James Park as well, which always go down a treat with the supporters. That community aspect, that engagement with the fans, that must be the most rewarding part of your job.
Yeah, and you know what, like, when I started speaking to City, when I first came in, it was, as I said earlier, it was one of the reasons why I signed that line, because it was, for me, it's more important what happens around the club, not just on the field. You know, anyone can play football. It's really easy to go and get a ball, kick a ball around with 11 other players and play a game. But what Exeter City are doing is building foundations. They're making sure that we care about our fans, that we're interacting with fans, that we stop after our game and say, oh, thank you so much for coming, you know, how's your day been? What have you been up to? Tell me more about it. And, you know, week after week, we're seeing people come in and they're telling us stuff that we didn't know, and we're just building those connections. And you're right, it's really heartwarming to see the kids come and be really excited to come and see you, and we walk them out and they're like buzzing just as much as us to go and play, and then the parents are really proud of them, and it just builds that family connection that then once they come one time, it's like, oh, we've got to go back there again, you know. And that's what it's all about. It's about building something which is going to last, where, you know, when those kids grow up and they're either playing along with us or they're bringing their own families as well, and that constant cycle is where it's going to become so much more successful for us as players, for us as a club, and for us individually. It's, yeah, very heartwarming, and I'm privileged to be at a club like this.
Yeah, I think we're just seeing a whole load of progress across the whole club. But I mean, if you're looking at the women's team, it just feels like, I mean, the investment is there. I mean, we saw the huge new amount of money that was put into the women's side, and it just feels like the whole, you know, women's side of the club is on the up, and that must be amazing to be a part of.
Yeah, and it's exciting, as I say. Like, I'm one of the older girls there now, unfortunately, and I'm speaking to the 16 to 18-year-olds and saying, look what you've got. Like, that was me 10 years ago, and look how much has changed within the women's game, not just at Exeter City, but the women's game in total. So what's it going to look like in another 10 years? You know, what's it going to look like in another 5 years? How is this going to progress? How is this going to go? And that's the exciting part, that I'm fortunate to be a part of it, but I'm very aware that my shirt's going to be here, and I'll put my number down at some point, and someone else is going to take that. And who's that going to be, and where's that going to go to? And that's what's exciting. And as long as we're, you know, doing the right things, embedding the right ethos and leadership skills, and teaching people to be better people and players, then we've done our job for football and for life. And yeah, I'm proud to be part of it. Yeah,
and you should be. You absolutely should be. Let's focus a little bit back on this season then. And I don't know, I feel like I hope I'm not, but I'm getting a little bit of deja vu with regard to Bournemouth. Could they be last season's Cardiff? I mean, look, they're a really good side, and I think you look at their goal difference, I think plus 50 or something crazy like that. They've won 9 from 9, and you face each other next. I mean, that's a showdown for the ages, isn't it?
That's the game. Yeah, you know, they're a great squad. They're a great individual players and as a team, and they're a really good club. And I think Bournemouth have done the same as what Exeter done, and they've just started really supporting their women's team going forward. And that's where we're seeing the big change in the women's game. Yes, it's going to be difficult. Yes, I think it's going to be a hell of a game. And I think this will be a 50% idea of what could happen for the end of the season. I hope. I hope they'll have that little thing. I think we've still got parts of the game which they haven't got yet. But, you know, it comes down to the day. It comes down to what you've had for breakfast. It comes down to what your mental state is that day and how well someone can put a ball into the net better than the other player. And I think having games like that makes it a season. You know, if we won every single game 5-0 all through season, it would get boring because you'd be like, here we go again. The teams like Bournemouth and us that are actually developing this league into being better players, better teams, that's what makes it exciting. And the fact we don't know what's going to happen makes us keep coming every week because we want to be the better team. We want to keep striving, and that's the competition, isn't it?
You sound optimistic for it, and I know it's still a couple of weeks away, so you know, got a little bit of time to wait still. But the confidence clearly there from you, and I guess it's shared amongst the rest of the squad. Is that just the sort of mentality that's instilled in the whole group, from the coaches to the players, everyone involved?
Well, you know, the mental game is just as important as the physical game and just as important as the tactical game. You work in like a four-way basis of how well we're doing socially, tactically, psychologically, and physically. And that confidence has to come with part of the game, because if it doesn't, you're not confident in making a tackle, you're not confident in your players going to make a tackle, or you're not confident in making that pass. That, you know, I know there's a lot of hype around, you know, athletes at this elite level, and there's an arrogance feel to it. But without that controlled arrogance, how do we get better players? Because you need to be in a position where you're willing to try something which someone hasn't tried before, or do something which is a little bit daring, but that risk and reward that you get from it is what creates those magic moments, which then will increase that ability to score or make it entertaining or whatever it needs to be. I mean, I work to the line of be hungry and humble. So, you know, you never stop. You never stop wanting to be better, wanting to beat that person in front of you, but you never forget your grassroots. You never forget where you came from and how that levels out. And, you know, that's got to stay within the team, but the confidence and how you look and how you feel, that is part of the game to make us into that elite area where people are going, Exeter City have turned up.
Well, absolutely. And look, I mean, I think, Bo, your positivity has been infectious. It must be said. I think that clearly rubs off on the rest of the squad, and maybe don't, you know, undervalue your place in this squad, because I think, you know, clearly from listening to you, it sounds like the positivity is there from all the players, but of course, particularly you. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been great to hear a little bit of insight on the women's team, and well, best of luck in the FA Cup, and of course for that game against Bournemouth.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, I'm joined by Scott Walker from the Exeter City Community Trust to deliver some personal news. Scott, welcome to Park Life. Thanks so much for joining us. You've been a vital member of the Exeter City Community Trust for a very long time now, but now you've decided that it's time to move on. How did you come to that decision?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, Tom, thank you for inviting me. It's only taken 23 years to get the call up, but I suppose I've got to be patient. Well, I'm not sure where to start. I've obviously been with City Community Trust for a very long time. It's been one hell of a journey, I will say that. I'm very proud to be part of the squad and the workforce that we've got at Exeter City Community Trust. And ultimately, an opportunity come up. It was on a WhatsApp group. It was completely out the blue. And at the time, I'd never looked for another job. I've never even thought about finding somewhere else to live or work, not live. I don't have to move, fortunately. But ultimately, when you find a job that you love, you never feel that you're working. So I didn't really need to look for another job. But this one come about. I threw my name in the hat. I thought to myself, I've got nothing to lose. In the nicest possible way, I had to put a covering letter and a CV together. And I was shortlisted, and I was offered to go to London for an interview. And I did that. And it was one of those situations where I got onto a train. I went to London. I did all the big boy stuff or big girl stuff that you do, and I come out the other end, and you reflect on the way home. Have you answered the questions? Have you come across very well? And then I got the call. So I'm going to be going towards I'm going to be working for the PFA. It's kind of in the community, or it will be, with regards to relating player engagement. It's going to be a community liaison executive for the Southern region. So something that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, and it had to be that sort of job, that a job with community at its heart, that could ever have taken you out of Exeter City, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. You wake up every day, and within Exeter City Community Trust, or any trust that work with football clubs, every day is different. It's what motivates you, gets you out of bed. It's what I look forward to every morning. And this job that popped out, it's ultimately working with players, it's working with CCOs, it's working with football clubs, and it just makes me feel that it's a time for a new challenge, and a kind of look forward now and try and develop as a person and as an individual. And I'm, it's something that I'll be starting in December, and hopefully I will be back, because Exeter will be one of the amazing clubs that I'll be working with. And no doubt I'll come back and say hello to everybody.
You certainly earned your right after so many years of service to move on and find something new. And I think that that community aspect is so important. And it ends a really long association with this football club. I believe I'm even right in saying that were you an apprentice at the club when you were just a youngster?
Yes, very much so. So my career with Exeter ultimately started when I was 14. I was signed, and it's going back some time, signed as a schoolboy back in 1994. And back in those days, you were given kind of a 2-year contract to prove yourself, and then it turns to a YTS, or a scholarship nowadays. And then I was very fortuitous to be given a year's contract, or a pro contract, with a couple of colleagues of mine that are still working for Exeter City Community Trust. And that's our CEO, Jamie Vittles, and also Danny Harris, who's head of wellbeing and health and wellbeing.
Well, no, it's an amazing story, really, and just shows your long-term commitment. Were you a fan even before that? I mean, obviously, you've done so much work with Exeter City, but growing up, were you a fan of the club?
Well, yeah, I grew up in the 80s. Liverpool at the top of League One at the time. They were flying, had Ian Rush and John Aldridge. But, I was always an Exeter boy. I grew up in St. Thomas, down in over the other side of the river. And ultimately, Exeter was always on the doorstep, and St. James's Park. I went a couple of times with a few of my friends whose father was a big Exeter City fan. Sadly, my dad supports Tottenham Hotspur. But there was times in which, I'd go to St. James's Park, and it was just a bit of a wow factor, and that feel that there was something really, really, really close to my heart, and I continue to be part of it until now. So I'll always keep an eye out for Exeter, of course I will, and I'm not moving anywhere, so I will be dipping in again as many times as I can.
Over the years then that you've been at the Community Trust, it's done some fantastic things, put on some brilliant events, and kept the football club right at the heart of the community. Mm-hmm. How do you reflect on your time in the role? You've been there for a while, but it must have been a brilliant journey.
Well, no, I've got so many different stories that I can remember. The City Community Trust, we started off as a couple of members of staff. Jamie Vittles, who's the CEO, he's been an absolute driving force towards the charity. He's the roots of everything that's been going on. And Danny and myself, we've had a long-term contract, should we say, and we've developed and evolved over time, not only with regards to the growth element, but with society. We've seen that there is more than just football. It's a great way of communicating. It's a great tool to break down barriers, but there's also other elements in which we've had to kind of keep our finger on the pulse and make sure that if we can engage with a different kind of audience, then it's important that we do that. So where we are now is we've got a very, very diverse workforce. And all in all, we've got an amazing mix of individuals that have all got different backgrounds, different, backstories, and we're all working together and pushing in the right direction.
And one of your biggest achievements, in my opinion at least, has undoubtedly been the success of the junior Grecians. Just the changes made to the junior Grecian zone, where they can hang out with other young City fans, play a bit of FIFA, have some fun. It's been such an incredible success that the Community Trust has really played a big role in.
Yeah, well, it's something that I feel that I'm really proud of. It's something that I enjoy doing every time. On a Saturday, I'm involved in the family zones, coordinating with all the amazing volunteers that we have that work on a match day. But when I look back, and I was trying to find the first kind of email that I had from Julian Tagg, just asking me whether or not I would just go along to a Red Army activity and just give a little bit of support and help. And really, that was about 8-9 years ago. And at the beginning, there was 90, 100, 150 members. But there was just a real opportunity, I felt, that we could grab hold of the next generation of supporters. And early on within the movement and the development of the Junior Supports Club, I was looking for volunteers and support to help me. Clive Harrison, who's now Director of Supporter Engagement, he was an absolute, he was a wonder really coming in, his experience, knowledge and understanding. And he had also the right interests in which we want to push together the fan zone, the engagement with the younger generation, and obviously making it a family club. And that's what we pride ourselves on. Richard Knight, he does an amazing job on a Saturday and a Tuesday and throughout the week, just engaging with every supporter that we can make a difference to. And if they come back, then that they've felt something positive within St James's Park. We're very fortunate to have so many players that really care about their supporters. So every game they will stick their heads in the junior Grecian zone to sign autographs, to have selfies, always with a smile on the face. Win, lose or draw, they're always there.
I mentioned a little bit earlier the importance of the community trust and the fact that it's got the heart of the community right at its very centre. How important do you think that is to have a football club that connects with the city, connects with the community like our club does? Because it's not something you see at every single football club. I really do think it's special to Exeter. Yes,
absolutely. And I'm going to, recognise that within my new role. I'm going to be visiting other clubs in the southern region. And I'll probably be surprised that the bridge between the club and the trust or the community department isn't as strong as what we're very fortunate to have at the community trust in Exeter. And that's just relationships. It's building bridges. It's making sure that, as a family club, you've got the right values, what you pride yourselves on. And ultimately, it's working together, because why would you compete over something that's so positive, with sport and football itself? And it's just a really good way of driving up spectators and support around the city and more awareness of the club.
You said that you weren't going to tell stories, but I'm going to ask you to tell just one. What is the one thing that you've done at the Community Trust that you feel most proud of during your 23 years at the club or in that role?
The big element I've just got to focus on, what I'm proud of is more than anything, is just the journey from the early stages of being with Danny and Jamie in a damp office, where the old grandstand used to be by the railway. We had a handful of after school clubs and holiday clubs. We had probably 50 balls, some cones and some bibs. And throughout the time, how we've evolved and how we've looked at different ways of interacting and engaging with the community is just hats off to everybody really that have been involved, and how fortunate we've been, especially with a couple of things like COVID and these monumental, should we say, elements, seeing the growth of the charity just grow and grow. So we have been very fortunate, but if there was anything to stand out, it would just have to be the journey, really. I've been very lucky to be part of it for this length of time.
And I suppose the key word then is the progress, right? That we've seen from the club. I mean, you can see it in the infrastructure of the club, but looking from the outside in to what the community trust has done, particularly with the junior Grecians, I think the key word is progress. I mean, look how far we've come in the time that you've been in the role.
Absolutely. Again, people may not know, they may not know, but within the community trust, only around 52% of our programs are football related. So it just showcases that there's so many other activities, mass participation activities, our housing program, our sport, our well-being programs that we offer each week. If you don't really know too much about Exeter City Community Trust, it would probably be a great time now to go onto our website, explore, become a stakeholder, support them as much as you possibly can, because ultimately I'm sure they're going to continue to progress and develop over the next 23 years.
Yeah, and I suppose that brings me quite nicely onto my next question, which is just talk to us a little bit about some of the work the Community Trust has been doing this year. 2023, big year for the club, of course, and then of course what the trust has got planned for next year as well, because there's still so many community initiatives that keep coming out of the trust.
Yeah, there's so many to talk about, but a few that I can highlight is that the HAF programs that we've got running, the holiday and food programs for the various individuals that are in need. We run a twinning program called the Twinning Project with HMP Exeter. That's an amazing program which works towards working with individuals within the prison environment, trying to teach them life skills, trying to get them back on the straight and narrow, and just ultimately just upskill them as best they can to stop them reoffending. We've got plenty of other programs called like Chances and Kicks, which we work in deprived areas of Exeter or areas in need, in which we feel that sport or football can engage with young people and educate them in the best possible way, and just show them something that's positive that they can look forward to in life. So there's a number of programs again that I could shout about, but those are just a small area of what we cover.
But finally, have you got a parting comment for the Community Trust, which you've put so much hard work and time into after so many years?
Well, I wouldn't want it to be a parting comment. I know I'm not going to be in the office every day, and I know that I'm not going to be on the backs of people that are running a little bit late, because that's kind of one of my pet hates. But no, what I will say is a massive thank you to everybody that I've worked with over the years. I've been so fortunate not to think it's been a job. It's more been a something that I've enjoyed every single day. Yeah, there's been challenges and there's been blood, sweat and tears. But at the same time, I've really enjoyed every single moment that I've worked within the Community Trust. Massive thank you to Jamie Vittles and to Danny, but also to everybody else that is currently there and will continue to fly the flag and keep doing the amazing work that they're providing in the Community Trust. So massive thank you to everyone.
Well, Scott, you've done a great job over all of these years, and well, best of luck in your new role, which of course has community right at the centre of it. Thanks so much, Scott.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
Finally, I'm joined by Theo Cutler from the Exeter City Under-18s for his first ever interview. And if you ask me, I think he did a pretty good job. Theo, welcome to Park Life. Thanks for joining us. The Exeter City Academy has a rich history of developing young talent, giving them first-team opportunities and often being given the chance to succeed at an even higher level. How are you finding your start to life on that journey?
Yeah, it's been really good. All the coaches are there, like, always to help you, and yeah, it's like you're always getting helped by other people.
Yeah, and you joined the academy aged 13, I think it was. So you joined it during the under-13s.
Yeah, about 4 years now.
Yeah, exactly. So you've had quite a bit of experience at Exeter City. How have you found it?
Yeah, well, yes, it's really good. It's really like welcoming. Like the first day I was here, it was like really welcoming, and then when you like join as a scholar as well, you're like you're in every day, so it's a bit of a change, but like it's really good. Yeah.
What was it that attracted you to Exeter City? Was it that record that City have of producing these excellent young players?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. And all the coaches were so like nice to me and stuff and helped me out a lot. So it's a nice place to be.
So let's talk a little bit about this season then. You signed as a scholar for Exeter City after finishing school earlier this year. And after playing a little bit for the under-18s last year, this is now your first full season, I guess, with the setup. Things didn't start too well at the start of this season, but they have steadily improved. How have you found the season so far?
Well, at the start, we won one game and then we thought like we're doing well. I think we got to our heads a bit too much, and then we kind of like dropped off and didn't really do well. But now we've kind of picked it back up, and we're doing a lot better.
What do you think didn't particularly click at the start of the season, and what's changed now? That you've picked up a couple of decent results.
I think it's like the team chemistry. At the start, we weren't really a team, and now we've kind of bonded more. And now we play as a proper team, and we play well.
Yeah, no, I'm sure, and I suppose that's credit to all of you players that you've managed to find a formula now where you can start to pick up some good results.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. But as I mentioned, the last two results have been much more positive for your team. A fantastic 4-2 victory over Forest Green, and then sharing the points in a 6-goal thriller with Portsmouth. They've got a great academy. Scoring goals for fun as well now, the under-18s. Where have all of these goals come from? Clearly, there's a lot of talent in the team.
Well, we've practiced it quite a lot in training and different ways to score. And knowing different ways to score is a lot better. And like we practice a high press, and that's where quite a lot of our goals come from, a high press. So I've just practiced a lot in training.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty clear to see. And you've got some fantastic teammates in this under-18 side as well.
Yeah.
Jake Richards already played in the first team. Alfie Cunningham, Max Edgecombe, Tom Dean, they all made their debuts in the EFL Trophy. How good of a group do you think you've got? I think we've experienced some great generations of young talent coming through the ranks at Exeter City. Is this another one? It looks like it's a really good side on paper.
Yeah, we do have we have good players, a good group as well. So we just got to keep on playing to get better and win more games.
Yeah, no, for sure. And those guys have made their debuts in the first team. I suppose that's something that you'll be looking at doing as well.
Yeah, definitely.
We've also seen a lot of players who've come through the academy find their feet whilst out on loan. Is that something that you're really looking forward to? Yeah,
definitely, because it kind of shows you like a different game, if you know what I mean, because like you're playing against men, and it shows you the proper game because it's more physical, and it really like makes you grow as a footballer.
And if there's one thing that we certainly know is if you're good enough from the academy, you can make your way into the first team. How optimistic are you that you'll be able to make your first team debut, run out at St James Park in the future?
Yeah, well, just got to keep on training hard and hopefully it'll come.
And then finally, just focusing back on this season then, do you think the team can continue this recent run of results starting on Saturday?
Yeah, we just got to keep on going and do well and keep on playing well.
Amazing. Well, Theo, thank you so much for joining us on Park Life, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Cool, thank you.
That's all for this episode of Park Life, the official Exeter City podcast. Let us know what you want to hear more of via our social media channels, and don't forget to hit the follow button so you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening. Up the City.
He's been picked out. Socks down to his ankle. Picks out.